from PRX.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Insurance isn't one size fits all. That's why drivers have enjoyed Progressive's Name Your Price tool for years now. With the Name Your Price tool, you tell them what you want to pay, and they'll show you options that fit your budget. So, whether you're picking out your first policy or just looking for something that works better for you and your family, they make it easy to see your options. Visit Progressive.com. Find a rate that works for you with the Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. All right, everybody, it's time to talk about the mattress I love sleeping in. We're talking about Helix Sleep, and that's my first question. Do you love the mattress you're sleeping in? Does it fit your needs, your feel preferences, what makes you comfortable? If it's not a solid yes, go to helixsleep.com/sleep and take the Helix quiz and find a mattress that you will love. Every time I'm away from my Helix this summer, I miss it. And then literally I start laughing when I get in bed now because I say, holy cow, I love this mattress. It's so comfortable. And one of the main reasons it's comfortable is I took the Helix quiz and I got matched with a mattress that fits my needs, my feel preferences, the fact that I get hot when I sleep, that I like to sleep on my side and my stomach, that I like something firmer. You deserve a mattress that you laugh when you get in because you love it. So you say, hey, I missed you a lot. Not only that, Helix comes with a 120-night sleep trial, a lifetime limited warranty. There's free shipping and seamless delivery. Helix delivers the mattress right to your door with free shipping in the U.S. They have the Happy with Helix guarantee, so you can rest easy with seamless returns and exchanges. The Happy with Helix guarantee offers a risk-free, customer-first experience designed to ensure you're completely satisfied with your new mattress. And Helix is the most awarded mattress brand, tested and reviewed by experts like Forbes and Wired. And of course, they've got a deal for our listeners. So go to helixsleep.com/sleep for 27% off site-wide, exclusive to our listeners. That's helixsleep.com/sleep for 27% off site-wide, exclusive to our listeners. Make sure to enter our show name after checkout so they know we sent you. That's helixsleep.com/sleep. Take that sleep quiz. Let me know what you got matched with. Thanks, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and friends beyond the binary, it's time for the podcaster that wants bedtime to feel more than just fair. I want it to be more than just fine. I want to make bedtime fine. Or something, where you can lean in, get comfortable. If you're new, welcome to Sleep With Me, the podcast that puts you to sleep. All right, everybody, it's time to talk about tonight's sponsor, Talkiatry. And, I've talked on the show about my own personal mental health journey. And whether it's me or someone I love, it is so difficult. There's so many obstacles, like trying to find a psychiatrist that takes your insurance. And then you got to wait for months. You got to wait for a call back. Or then you try to set up an appointment. And they're, no, we're not taking new patients. What should I do? Where should I go? If you've been in that place, I've been there too, and you're not alone. And that's why I love working with partners that have a solution. Talkiatry makes it easy to see a licensed psychiatrist online who takes your insurance in just a few days. Talkiatry is a 100% online psychiatry practice that provides comprehensive evaluations, diagnoses, and ongoing medication management for conditions like ADHD, anxiety, depression, and more. Unlike therapy-only platforms, Talkiatry is psychiatry. You're seeing a medical provider who can diagnose mental health conditions and prescribe medication when it's appropriate. All 800-plus clinicians are in-network with major insurers, so you can use your existing insurance instead of paying monthly subscriptions or out-of-network costs. You can meet with a licensed psychiatrist who takes the time to understand what's going on, builds a personalized treatment plan, and supports you over time with consistent, evidence-based care. Getting started takes just a few minutes. Complete a short online assessment, get matched with clinicians who fit your needs, and schedule your first visit in days, not months. And because you continue with the same provider, you're not starting over each visit. Your treatment can evolve with you, so you're actually making progress over time. More than 300,000 patients have already found high-quality psychiatric care through Talkiatry. Head to talkiatry.com/sleep to complete the short assessment and get matched with an in-network psychiatrist in just a few minutes. That's talkiatry.com/sleep to get matched in minutes. Thanks, everybody. All right, everybody, it's time to talk about tonight's sponsor, a new sponsor, Drip Drop. You know I love being outside, particularly in the summertime, whether it's running or biking or my favorite activity, taking a long walk. And that's why I love partnering with Drip Drop. Having Drip Drop on hand helps me avoid dehydration before it happens, so I don't hit that low energy or feeling tired due to not being hydrated. Now, Drip Drop is doctor-developed, proven fast hydration that helps your body and mind work better. Think support for busy days, long workouts, summer travel, and everything in between. Because hydration isn't something you just do when you're behind. It's how you stay ahead. Drip Drop uses science-based formulas for rapid hydration so you'll feel results fast while getting 3 times the electrolytes of leading sports drinks. Drip Drop is trusted by firefighters, medical professionals, and over 90% of top college and pro sports teams. And like I said, it's perfect for staying active all summer long. It's fast hydration built with what matters most. Now, all of these products taste amazing. There's 16 original flavors and 8 zero sugar plus options. And oh boy, did I enjoy that fruit punch. I had it before the podcast. No mouth noises. That's the amazing thing. I'm hydrated and I sound good. So this summer, I'm going to make Drip Drop a part of my daily routine. And to make it easy, Drip Drop has flexible subscription options so you're never stuck without proven fast hydration, whether you're hitting the gym, juggling work, or just trying to keep up with an always-on calendar. And of course, they got a deal for you, everybody. Right now, Drip Drop is offering Sleep With Me listeners 20% off your first order. Go to dripdrop.com and use the promo code SLEEP. That's dripdrop.com, promo code SLEEP for 20% off. Stock up now at dripdrop.com and use that promo code SLEEP. That's Drip Drop. Thanks, everybody. Hey, everybody, this is Scooter, and this one's for super listeners. You listen 4, 5, 6, 7 nights a week. You've listened 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, or more. In this podcast, there's no other replacement for you. Like, this podcast is a part of your life. I just said it. Podcast is part of your life. You're a part of this thing. And, you know, that's really important to me. Being here night after night after night, year after year after year. But super listeners, we built Sleep With Me Plus with you in mind because you're different than a regular listener. The show's a part of your life. For a lot of other people, it's just something that they go when they need it. They listen to a few episodes before their job interview or as they're getting over their breakup or whatever it is that's going on. And they wind down during the intro, they fall asleep during the story, and then they come back to the show when they need it again. But if this show's a part of your regular routine, we built Sleep With Me Plus with that in mind, with people who listen every night, with people that have opinions about the show. You like certain things, other things don't work for you. You could build your playlist. Everything you want to find on Sleep With Me Plus, whether it's all intros, story-only episodes. And you could try it out with a free trial and see if it's a better experience. And you can check that out at sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. That's sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. Thanks. Oh, Mystery Bart, a lot of people help out on the show. Who are they?
Chris Posty Poster Son sounds like an earful. Wrote the theme song. Carl W. the Legend. Ashley, Kenny, Scotty, Jennifer. Eric and the team at Astound are on the website. I am the Mystery Bard. I do the lullabies, yeah. I do commissions at jonathanmann.net. I'll write a song for you. Any reason at all. You can tell me the story and I'll make it personal. You see the kindness shine straight on through when the listeners form their own Facebook group. Keith, Stacy, Sarah, Julie, and Jennifer. These are your moderators. Get support dear Scooter on Patreon. Buy the merch and support the sponsors. You can find anything you want at sleepwithmepodcast.com. And we're so proud that we could dance. Rusty Biscuit, Lois, Anna like banana. Leah does the transcripts.
Thanks, Mr. Bart. Don't forget, if you haven't heard about Surprised by Scooter, if you're spreading the word about the show, you're tagging me in social media or emailing me through the form on our website, I'm going to surprise some people who are spreading the word about the show, just letting people genuinely know about their experience with the podcast, with subscriptions to Sleep With Me Plus, maybe a personal video, maybe some stickers, who knows? So get out there and be surprised by Scoots. Thanks, everybody. What do you say we get on with the show? Hey, are you up all night tossing, turning, mind racing, trouble getting to sleep, trouble staying asleep? Well, welcome. This is Sleep With Me, the podcast that puts you to sleep. We do it with a bedtime story. All you need to do is get in bed, turn out the lights, and press play. I'm going to do the rest. What I'm going to attempt to do is create a safe place where you could set aside whatever's keeping you awake, whether it's thoughts, feelings, physical sensations, changes in time or temperature, travel. Yeah, but if you're just not feeling great, you might be feeling, however you're feeling, I'm here to help you. And the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to send my voice across the deep dark night. I'm going to use lulling, soothing, creaky dulcet tones, pointless meanders, tangents, superfluous dialogue. I'm trying to be comforting, really, and a little bit silly. I'm going to try to earn your trust if you're new. Earn your trust so much that you don't need to pay attention to me. That's the kind of trust I'm looking for. So here's the thing. If you're new, let me give you a setup really early here. Structure of the show. First few minutes are business. That's how we keep the show free. And thanks to everybody that acts on that or goes to our website, sleepwithmepodcast.com, to check out more. But if you're new, not super important. Then there's an intro, which we've just started. And the intros are normally around 12 to 14 to 13 to 11 to 18 to 17 to 16, and possibly 15 minutes or so. Kind of a show within a show, overly long monologue. That helps you lay like a log, like a friendly moss-covered log. So nice there, beautiful to ponder. Don't worry, it's not in your bed. I would not put any woodland beings in your bed, but you could pat the moss and say, "Yeah, it's bedtime here." Scoots has already stopped making sense. So some listeners listen to the intro as they wind down, as they brush their teeth, as they get in bed. Some people listen while they're already in bed as they, get comfortable. They sink into their pillows, pull up their covers, find the most comfortable position, the most restful position, someplace where they just feel nice. So let me tuck you in there. There you go. Let me tuck you in there on your side there and get you. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to get you nice and cozy. And that's kind of what the intro does, where where I try to explain what the podcast is. And I end up not being able to do that. I try to make the new listeners feel welcome. Regular listeners say, "Oh, this is something familiar. Scoots is here to help." And then I also demonstrate my ability to lose focus, go off track, get on track, be a little bit goofy, and try to win your confidence. Your confidence so strong that you don't have to pay attention to me. So that's what the intro does. Then there's tonight we'll be talking about the Great New York State Fair. First, we'll talk about the State Fair musical movie, the films in the State Fair. We'll also briefly talk about the great David Foster Wallace essay about the Illinois State Fair. And, so it can be like a history lesson. But ideally, you'll be history. You'll be sleeping. You'll be drifting off. And then there's some thank yous at the end. There's some business between the intro and the story. So that's the structure of the show. And you can fall asleep at any time. Now, here's the things about this podcast. You don't really need to listen. You can kind of listen in whatever manner suits you best. And if you're new, you could test it out and see. Because a lot of people on their first or second try, I see a couple different approaches that I hear from people that email me or write reviews. One is like, you start off skeptical, which is, I applaud you, perfectly normal and natural reaction to the show. And you try to figure out, I have to earn your trust. That's kind of a normal compact, and I'm more than willing to do that. And it might take a few tries just to say, you're kind of earning my trust by losing it. Is that an intentional way you do that? And I said, well, no, it's kind of organic. It's it's just an organic process. By just being myself, I both earn your trust and lose it in a way that makes you comfortable with me putting you to sleep. So you can listen, and eventually you'll find your way to like how you like to listen, and that may change over time. I'll talk about that again. Then there's another approach for new listeners. Sometimes it's like, okay, I'm going to try to listen and make sense of this or see what's going on, or actually listen to the content, which can be done. But most people that listen to the show in that way, in like an in-depth way, you still have to kind of listen to it loosely or on the second or third try. If you try to focus on what I'm saying too much, you may cross over right into my you may pop right in my brain. And I've been in my brain my whole life. So I think it's better off you just say, okay, let me observe here. Let me relax in my bed. Let me give it a few tries. So those are two approaches. There's a lot of different ways to listen to this show. Some people listen to me so quietly and mumbling. Some people, English isn't their first language, or maybe they don't speak English, so they're listening to me for the pace and the rhythm. And I'll give you a good pace and rhythm, at a nice pace and rhythm, or do my best. Some people listen to me at a normal volume. Some people listen at half speed or 3/4 speed. Some listeners just listen to the intro. Some listeners skip the intro. Some listeners listen to 8 or 10 episodes in a row all night long. Some people don't start the podcast until they get up in the middle of the night, and they turn it on then. Some people listen to the show to unwind when they're weaving baskets or stuck in traffic. So however you want to use the show is fine. I mean, I can only make one type of podcast. Patreon, we offer other stuff that if you want to mix and match how you listen. But, how you decide to use the content after I make it is it's fine. You use it how it works for you. But you don't really need to listen. You're also under no pressure to fall asleep. This is a podcast more to be here while you fall asleep, to keep you company. And to say, hey, it's okay. I've been there. I know it sucks that you can't fall asleep. Let me goof around. Let me over-explain myself in a way that explains nothing. And then I'll talk about a musical about the state fair, an essay about a state fair, and the history of the great New York State Fair. And what was I saying? And gently, I'll be here as you drift off at your leisure. But if you can't sleep, I'll be here too. I'll be here till the very end. I'm working here, and I'm trying to be present. When I record this show, I really am trying to be present and here for you, to keep you company. And I know that's a strange digital, mishmash, but really I'm sitting here, and I know I'm talking into your ears. And I know what it's like to toss and turn because I've been there. And that's why I call it the deep, dark night, because that's how it can feel. And I just want to offer a little relief, a little goofing around. Mispronunciations, they come free. Those are organic. I want to be your boar friend, your boar bud, your boar bae, your boar cuz, your boar bestie. If one day, we reach that status, your boar bruh. I could bring, if I'm your Barbara, I can bring, the hair gel or whatever you need. Whatever, I'm here to help. I'm here to keep you company. So yeah, give the podcast a few tries. I'm trying to think what else I could say. A lot of times, though, it is about me kind of trying to stay in the moment. And even during the intros, I try to pay attention, if there's any outside noises that might impinge on the show. How I'm talking and how I'm pacing myself, which sometimes I can forget. But I try to remember that my job is to be here, just like I was sitting at your bedside. And part of that is because, when I say I've been there, I've both been there recently and historically. And when I was a kid and I couldn't sleep because I was worried about school, I was already overthinking then. And it's kind of interesting to be in a place where you can look back and say, wow, I really was the person I am today in some sense, in some essence-based sense back then. And I couldn't sleep. Part of me wished someone would just sit there and not try to fix it and not try to make it go away, but just say, oh, that's rough. What's going on? Well, I'm just can't stop thinking about school and stuff, and then I can't stop thinking about sleep, and I can't go to sleep. Oh, wow. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll just sit here with you. If you want, I could pat your chest or your back, or I could just sit here. I could even just put my hand on the side of your bed, not even, touching you, or I could fold my hands here, and I could just be here for you, because that sounds rough. Let me just sit here. You want me to tell you a story? Or you want me to rock silently but not silently in a rocking chair? Or what? What can I do to help? Any of that sound like it would help? And maybe people tried and I kind of said, no. Maybe it was more convoluted than that. But and I don't know if this is my way of time traveling back to that little kid. But I know that little kid can relate to you, and maybe it's something much, much different. Maybe we can't totally relate, but I can say I can feel for you if you're in some sort of straits or whatever the right word is. I want to help, and all I want to do is be here, and maybe, I can earn your trust. Maybe I can be comfortable. Most of the time I'm goofing around. And this isn't super serious. This is just the true intention of the podcast and me being honest with you. But maybe my goofing around could add some levity. And yeah, you could just kind of listen to me. It'll be interesting. I mean, tonight we'll be talking about this musical about the state fair, which has its own plots and then the history of the fair. And maybe you've been to a county fair or like a field days or a festival, or even a state fair in another state, and there's a lot there. There's cotton candy, and there's snacks, and there's people, and moving, and in skies, and maybe candied apples, and so we want to give you those kind of images, and that's what we'll be doing tonight. So if you're new, this is a little bit different of an intro, but, every intro, that's what I've done 600 and whatever episodes. But I'm here to help. All I can do is my best and try to be here, present for you, sitting right here. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm close to the mic. I've got a relaxed thingamajig going with my shoulders and stuff. So again, let me tuck you in here. Let me pat the side of your bed. And say, hey, I'm going to be here to goof around and tell you a story, talk to you about state fairs type stuff tonight. And I'm here twice a week. More content if you're a patron. But either way, I work very hard and I strive because I really want to help you fall asleep. Thank you so much for coming by. And here's a couple of ways we keep the show going. All right, everybody, it's time to talk about tonight's sponsor, Quince. And not only is Quince a sponsor that solved the problems with my bedding, the shirts I wear when I travel or want to look good, but now Quince is providing me daily peace of mind and cutting through that nutrition noise. Everybody's got advice. Oh, take this, eat this. For me, it gets overwhelming, confusing. I just want something simple. And Quince has my back because now they have Quince Superfood Greens. Cuts right through that nutrition noise with one simple daily scoop that helps you fill your nutrient gaps and support your overall health. Quince Superfood Greens combines 78 high-quality ingredients into just one scoop. It has vitamins, minerals, probiotics, and whole food-sourced greens. It supports energy, gut health, and covers your nutrient gaps without a complicated routine. It's made in the USA and rigorously third-party tested. It's free from soy soy, stevia, major allergens, and has no artificial sweeteners. And this is my favorite part. Like everything Quince does, it's thoughtfully made and priced really well. At $40 for 30 servings, it's less than half of the leading greens brands. Quince works directly with trusted manufacturers, so you're getting premium wellness ingredients without the inflated markup. And especially with travel this summer, it makes a big difference for me putting a scoop of Quince Superfood Greens in a glass of cold water and knowing all of my nutrient bases are covered. So fill the gaps your diet leaves behind. Go to quince.com/sleepwithme for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/sleepwithme for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/sleepwithme. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Thanks, everybody.
All right, hey everybody, this is a trending Tuesday style episode. I don't know what day it'll come out, probably not on a Tuesday. And this episode is going to be kind of about state fairs, so a little bit of facts and maybe a little bit of personal meandering and some pondering. I grew up in Syracuse, New York, home of the Great New York State Fair, which I guess is the official title. We'll learn about that. I also want to talk about the Roger and Hammerstein's musical in the film, unless it's playing somewhere near you, State Fair. Yeah, but first I wanted to just make sure that you take an opportunity, if you have a chance, to read in Harper's magazine or in one of the collections of his essays and stories, the David Foster Wallace essay, Ticket to the Fair. And it appeared in July 1994, Harper's, and it's in a couple of collections of his books, which I don't have in front of me. I think it is in a supposedly fun thing I'll never do again, which contains his essay about cruises. But this essay it's a short story length. And I was just listening. There's some of his readings are on YouTube. But do yourself a favor, especially that this episode should be running in the summer season, and experience some of it through David Foster Wallace's eyes and mind and his way of storytelling. Because it's, first of all, unbelievably hilarious, so fall out of your chair hilarious. And he's just, I find him a lovely, I don't know what stage. I mean, this is before I took on Infinite Jest, probably in my build-up to reading that. And this was one of the essays where I absolutely, I don't know, I think his brilliance is fully on display here. I mean, that maybe he would be making a podcast today, but really just so enjoyable. If you've ever been to a county fair or a state fair or even a field days, you really just do yourself a favor, and I'll put the links to Harper's article, which you could purchase, or you could purchase one of his collections of essays, or you could check it out from your library. Yeah, so do yourself a favor and sit down and do that. And then I'm going to talk about, well, I guess the next thing I'm going to research here is the musical State Fair in film. And I don't think I've ever seen it. I'm not even sure I'm familiar with the songs. So I wanted to look it up to familiarize myself. And I'm pretty sure there's 2 films. So let's get over here to, maybe there's 3 films. Holy mackerel. Yeah, there's 3 films. So maybe if anybody's familiar with any of them, which one is the best? This is about the 1945 film, the Wikipedia article. 1945 American musical film directed by Walter Lang. It's a musical adaptation of the 1933 film of the same name, with music by Rodgers and Hammerstein. So maybe the 1933 film was just a straight movie. I think that's a Will Rogers movie starring Will Rogers. I don't recognize any of the stars, but that doesn't mean anything. It was remade in 1962 with Pat Boone and Margaret. So maybe we should stick with this one. It was the only musical, Rodgers and Hammerstein musical, written directly for film. So that answers my question. I don't know if they do perform. I mean, I'm sure they perform it on stage, but it introduced such popular songs as It's a Grand Night for Singing, It Might As Well Be Spring, which did win the Academy Award for Best Song. Oh, here we go. Rodgers and Hammerstein adapted the film for stage in 1969 in a production at the Muni in St. Louis. In 96, it was on Broadway with additional songs taken from other Rodgers and Hammerstein musicals. Yeah, but here's the plot. This is where we went. This is where we really went. The Frake family is getting ready. Jonathan Frakes, without an S, getting ready for the Iowa State Fair with their own hopes for a trip. I've always dreamed of making a film based at the Great New York State Fair or a documentary. Father Abel attends to his pig Blue Boy and bets his neighbor Dave Miller $5 that the pig will win at the fair. And here's a mistake, that the Frake family will all have a good time with no bad experiences. As David Foster Wallace shows, the fair is much more of a gray area, a mix, where you touch on the extreme edges as well. Daughter Margie is in a melancholy mood as she packs for the fair and sings It Might As Well Be Spring. She muses about how the fair will at least give her a break from doing the same things every day. Later, Harry, Margie's fiance, he can't go to the fair because he has to take care of his cows. He's working on a modern farm he wants to build once they're married, made out of prefab plastic and linoleum floors. Margie's more of a fan of this old house, so she's not super enthusiastic, and maybe Harry's on a high horse, I'm not sure. Mother Melissa is getting pickles and mincemeat ready for the cooking competition. It's a great screenplay I got to read. I think it won the Nichols Fellowship, Butter, which was later made into a film about butter sculpting. I think that was at a state fair, too. So that's another thing. I think I've seen the movie, but it might have been... I know I read the screenplay a bunch of times, maybe when I was trying to get the courage to enter the Nichols Fellowship. I think I might have once, but I was definitely not there or even close to that level of skill. But that's a great screenplay. I think it's on the Nichols Fellowship website. Okay, so where was I? She's getting mincemeat and pickles ready versus butter sculpting. Oh, Melissa, it calls for brandy, the recipe, but she doesn't believe in cooking with alcohol. Abel disagrees and thinks brandy's essential. And when Melissa goes to the phone, Abel sneaks some brandy in there. The phone call is for son Wayne, whose girlfriend Eleanor can't go to the fair either. She's taking care of her mother. And then Melissa adds more brandy to the mincemeat. He's hilarious. Then the Frakes head off to the fair. Wayne's first stop is ring tossing. That's your first stop? Man, you're really... he's been practicing all years. Last year he lost $8. And in the hopes of getting even, he repeatedly wins the game. And Carnival Barker... thinks he's cheating. Then a pretty girl, played by Vivian Blaine, defends Wayne. And she's the daughter of the chief, or so she says. The Barker refunds Wayne's $8 from last year. Wayne tries to get a date, but she says she's got to go. Promising she'll be on the midway. I think I've dreamed of these kind of experiences. I haven't had any of them. Wayne should look for her. Meanwhile, on the roller coaster, Margie gets into an empty seat for two. But then the couple sit in front of her. They ask for a seat in front of her, and she has to sit next to somebody. And then they go and have a Coke. Then we meet a reporter, Pat, played by Dana Andrews, who's covering the fair for the Des Moines newspaper. Oh, by the way, the David Foster Wallace one's about the Illinois State Fair. Suggests is this a reporter? Tries to ask Margie out too? Oh, the reporter is the person in the roller coaster. I have two parts of my brain reading this Wikipedia article and discussing it live on mic. Margie's fascinated by the reporter's stories, where he's been. He's ambitious and wants to get a job on a larger newspaper. And they make a plan to meet. Oh boy, this could be cross signals to meet that evening. And Pat tells Margie not to worry about him breaking it off because when he wants to do that, she'll know and he just won't be around. Then Abel and Blue Boy have a couple things. Frank comes in. And it looks like Blue Boy falls in love with Esmeralda. These are pigs in love. Then in the midway, Pat finds Margie. I don't think we've had a song in a while. What about a roller coaster-based song in musicals? Anybody? Anyone? I can't. I mean, I could probably come up with one if it, wouldn't be very good, but wouldn't be very good for a sleep podcast right now. Let's see. That evening, Pat finds Margie while Wayne's looking for his ring-tossing counterpart. Then he meets the chief, says, "Isn't your daughter?" He says, "No, I don't have a daughter your age." Then Wayne sees a girl he's looking for, who's a singer with the dance band performing at the fair, Emily, and she sings the song, "That's For Me." And they dance, and Pat and Margie ride the highest airplane ride at the fair, a grand night for singing. And it looks like Pat's a bit of a player. Next morning, Margie is falling for Pat and Wayne for Emily. Abel is excited that Blue Boy's doing great because Blue Boy's in love. Do the pigs get a song? What about a song, Pigs in Love? That seems like it really would write itself. Sorry, it was really working hard not to sing. Following breakfast is a pickle and mincemeat judging. Both of them the same day, eh? Melissa's not, she's worried because her biggest competition, Miss Edwin Metcalf, always wins. Melissa's, she wins for her sour pickles and a special award for the brandied mincemeat. And one of the judges eats a lot of it. Pat takes Melissa and Margie's picture for the newspaper. Him and Margie go to a horse race, and they share a kiss. Meanwhile, Wayne and Emily, Wayne tries to get a date, but she's got to host a birthday party for Marty, who sings with her band, not McFly. She says, "Hey, Wayne, why don't you come to this party?" A song plugger named McGee. That's not the name of it. I don't know what a song plugger is, but that sounds like another song for the musical. A song plugger named McGee. With me, you'll see that I'll always be just a song plugger named McGee. Arrives with a new song he wants Emily to sing, not the one I just gave you a few bars of in spoken word, of course. McGee gives Wayne the song and says, "Hey, pass it on to Emily." Then Emily asks Wayne to sing, and Wayne plays coy. But then not Marty McFly, he gives him a hard time. Wayne sings the song McGee gave him, "Isn't It Kind of Fun?" and sings it to Emily. Marty finds out Wayne got the song from McGee and insinuates that McGee paid Wayne to, cash in, to plug the song. And there's, all sorts of trouble. But in the end, another kiss is shared. Then Margie and Pat talking until the sunrise comes up, holding hands. And Pat says, "Are you going to marry that high-tech Harry?" And she says, "Probably." And she says, "Are you ever going to settle down, Pat, you rover?" And he says, "Maybe one day, but, I'm in trouble." with a capital STATFAIR, until it's over, then I'm gone. That's another song that didn't make it. Despite this, he asks Margie to marry him. But she won't answer. Pat says he's no good anyway, but she would be good for him. And then they make plans to meet at the roller coaster. Here's another song. They make plans to meet at the roller coaster at 8:30. Standing by the roller coaster at 8:30. Okay, roller coaster at 8:30. There could be a song in there, not with those words, though. And then Margie says, you know what? I'm not going to marry you or anybody else. Is that what she says, or Pat says that? She says it. Then Abel finds out Blue Boy, without even Abel's help, won the blue ribbon. And they got to get ready for the grand championships. And then Esmeralda and Blue Boy don't want to be separated. This would be Pigs in Love reprise. Abel does get Blue Boy out there, but Blue Boy says, no, I want to be with Esmeralda. Then Esmeralda makes an appearance, and Blue Boy gets right back up. Last night of the fair, Margie goes to meet Pat and Wayne and Emily. Margie goes to meet Pat, Wayne goes to meet Emily. Pat's article's already out about the pickles and mincemeat, and there's something about being too much brandy in there. And then Melissa and Abel go to the dance. There's another song, All I Owe Away. And the judge is still there acting goofy. Let's see, Wayne waits for Emily. McGee thanks Wayne for that song, making it into a hit, because Emily's going to sing it in Chicago. Wayne is surprised to hear from McGee that Emily's leaving that night because Emily didn't tell him. She says, that's it, I'm a singer, and Wayne says, why don't you come to the farm instead of going to Chicago? And she can't, but she has something to confess, but she can't do it now. Then McGee explains to Wayne, oh boy, that Emily's already married but unhappy. And of course she didn't want to tell Wayne that. McGee and Wayne become besties. And then Pat learns he's going to get a new job and his own column. And his boss wants to meet him in Chicago that night. He says, well, I got Margie waiting here for me. But he says, if you don't get here to Chicago for this meeting, you're through. Margie ends up waiting by the roller coaster for Pat. There's it is, waiting by the coaster at 8:30. Forlorn love song. Pat never shows. Margie waits till the midway closes down and then walks away. And then this is it. The Frake family packs up and gets ready to leave. Both their kids, Margie and Wayne, heartbroken. Next day, Abel tries to collect on a bet with Mr. Miller. But Mr. Miller notices Wayne and Margie don't look like they had any fun. They did, but it's called LOVE. A roller coaster called LOVE. There you go. There's another song we could work in. Waiting to ride the roller coaster of love. I think that was a Red Hot Chili Peppers song, though, so I have to change it. I have to change a little, waiting by, we have to find another metaphor. But Wayne leaves. Mr. Miller asks listless Margie, that might be another song, State Fair 2, out on the farm. Did you have a good time at the fair? But then the phone rings. I don't know which phone. And it's Pat who got the job and says, hey, Margie, let's get married and go to Chicago. And she says, sure. And she says, Mr. Miller, I did have a good time. It was the most wonderful fair ever. And Abel collects $5. Margie just rushes off to meet Pat. And Pat and Margie embrace in the middle of the road as Wayne, now reunited with his girlfriend Eleanor, drives by happily hugging Eleanor, a grand night for singing. So that's the plot. Reception, it was, according to Bosley Crowther, from the New York Times, it called it no more than an average screen musical with a nice bucolic flavor here and there. Variety said it was coupled with an excellent cast, retains the old charm of the original, yet adds some of its own, and should do box office. Harrison reports called a good, wholesome entertainment, capably directed and well acted. And John McCartan of the New Yorker wrote, nice, I believe would be the word for it. I don't think you could use anything stronger. So that's it. Let's see. In popular culture, in the 1982 episode of the season TV show MASH, The Moon is Not Blue. Having heard the controversy surrounding the film The Moon is Blue, they attempt to watch the movie but get State Fair instead. And Harry Morgan, who's on MASH, was the carnival barker in the State Fair. When General George Marshall returned from his peace trip to China in 1946, he said, State Fair did more to tell the Chinese about America than my hours of talking. So that's a little bit about the State Fair, the film. And let's dig into the Wikipedia article about the Great New York State Fair. I know I've talked about it before. And then either this episode or an episode in a few weeks or a week and a half, I'll do a personal essay about the State Fair, depending on how much time we have. But definitely it's appeared in some episodes. I think, I'm pretty sure it appeared, I know, what was it called? Wear a Stone in Your Shoe or something. The second season of Super Doll, I think episode 1. Electra, that takes place not during the New York State Fair. That takes place at the New York State Fairgrounds, at the Boy Scout Jubilee or whatever it was. That, in my mind, was set in the Carousel Progress building there. And then Imaginary Friend Reunion. I think Bill and I go to the State Fair together. I haven't listened to that episode in a long time. But I'm pretty sure we visited there together. And I'm surprised. I've always dreamed of recording an episode at the New York State Fair, but I haven't been there in a few years. And it really goes right up against the start of the school year in California, so it makes it difficult. Plus, it's incredibly hot and stuff like that. But let's read about it. The Wikipedia article, The Great New York State Fair is a 13-day showcase of agriculture, entertainment, education, and technology. It has midway rides, concessionaires, exhibits, and concerts, and it's New York's largest annual event and an end-of-summer tradition for hundreds of thousands of families from all corners of the state. It first took place in Syracuse in 1841. And took permanent residence there in 1890. It's one of the oldest and largest state fairs in the United States with 1 million visitors annually. The Great New York State Fair I think in 13 days, that's about how many times that's interesting. The Great New York State Fair begins on the third or fourth Wednesday in August and runs for 13 days, ending on Labor Day. It is held at the 375-acre Empire Expo Center on the shores of Onondaga Lake in the town of Geddes, near the western border of Syracuse. Let's get into some of the history here. February 1832, the New York State Agricultural Society, which was a group in Albany, farmers, legislators to promote agricultural improvements and state fairs. They were the ones that founded the nation's first state fair in Syracuse, September 29th to the 30th, 1841. About 10 to 15,000 people came. There were speeches, animal exhibits, a plowing contest, samples of manufactured farms and home goods. They had a second fair in 1842 in Albany. And then between 1842 and 1889, it traveled between 11 different cities. Albany, Auburn, Buffalo, Elmira, New York City, Poughkeepsie, Rochester, Saratoga Springs, Syracuse, Utica, and Watertown. Now, this is some foresight that maybe people, like in 1890, the Syracuse Land Company donated a 100-acre tract of land in Geddes to the Agricultural Society. Crossed by railways is still there. That facility, you know, the Midway shows usually arrive by train. Crossed by railways that facilitated exhibit transport. The Onondaga County location became the fair's permanent home. In the late 1890s, the Agricultural Society turned to the state government for relief because it was in debt because they constructed permanent buildings on the sites. And the state purchased the grounds from them in 1899 and took over management and created an 11-member state fair commission appointed by the governor. A $2 million long-term building plan was enacted in 1908, and that would last for 2 decades. And during this time, the manufacturers and liberal arts buildings, now the Center Progress building, was constructed. And it was joined by the Dairy Products building and the Grange building, now the Science and Industry building, in 1910. The Coliseum was opened in 1923, initially serving to the World's Dairy Congress. And they also built an Iroquois village exhibit and an agricultural museum in 1928 because of public interest in local history. The fair was rebranded as the New York State Agricultural and Industrial Exposition in 1938, reflecting closer ties to industry. And that was when the 14-day schedule started, featuring popular entertainment acts. During the big WW #2, it was used, and they didn't have fairs. In 1948, they had a truncated fair, followed the next year by a 6-day full-scale expo with large crowds. By the end of the 50s, the fair expanded it to 9 days and achieved attendance over 500,000. The James E. Strait Midway was added during this time, and nationally known entertainers who were there to attract families and teenagers. Wait a second, I don't know about this. In 1967, the 1925 Wurlitzer Theater pipe organ was permanently installed in the Empire Theater of Art and Home Center, where it entertained audiences for over 50 years. Between 62 and 66, it was known as the New York State Exposition. Then it was renamed the New York State Fair in 1967. Let's see, it expanded to 10 days in 1978, and the buildings began to be rented during the off-season. It expanded to 12 days in 1990. During the 80s and 90s, they tried to make it more diverse, adding a Pan-African village and gospel festivals. Sign language interpreters were also added, and the grounds were made more accessible. Let's see, 2008, we began to focus more on agriculture, showcasing products made in New York State. The Pride of New York Marketplace was given and a permanent maple exhibit. The fair changed the Chevy Court format to include 2 performers each day in 2009. There was a hockey game there, February 20th, 2010. That's just on the grounds. 21,000 people showed up for that. A record of 2,000 and 6,000 fairgoers attended Chevy Court concerts during the 12-day run in 2010. $50 million transformation of the fairgrounds started in 2015. The most recent record at the Chevy Court, which is free, that's where they have their free concerts. 36,900 people saw Steve Miller there. I saw TLC there. That might have been the last thing I saw, that group I saw there, but it was so packed I just couldn't see anything. Also somebody famous, maybe even Taylor Swift, before she was super famous. But I didn't see her either. I could just hear I definitely could hear TLC and then some other, 80s, 90s hip hop. The fair's 2001 attendance record was broken in 2016 with 1,117,630 fairgoers visiting. And I did go that year. I had 4 days over 100,000. Felt like it. I think I went once or twice, and that was the last time I went was in 2016. 2017, I wasn't back east. 2018, I was back east earlier in the year for family events. This was some big. Here's Governor Cuomo announced a transformation of the fair in 2015. A sweeping redesign that included getting rid of the 17,000-seat grandstand and dirt track where they would have dirt racing. And I think they had other kinds of racing there. This was the first major transformation. They rebuilt the main gate. I guess I haven't seen this, making it reminiscent of an 1840 carriage entrance. Maybe I'll try to go there. They have a brand new, very open to everyone attending. The Midway has a new layout that's 15 acres. I did go to the new Midway in 2016 and maybe 2015. They changed over vendors from Straight Show to somebody else. What else? They have a new kind of foundation for it the size of over 10 football fields with more room and better layout. Improved Kittyland area, phone charging stations, shaded rest areas. Then they added a new RV park with 313 RV sites, and new grid layout, better everything. They also tried to preserve the historic quad, which has the 5 oldest buildings around the open park setting. Oh, they removed commercial vendors from the quad to restore the park. I don't know if I've seen that either. Yeah, there's also a new entrance, gate 11A. I don't know if I've been in that way. And they have a task force looking to spend another $15 million for phase 2. Okay, let's see. Chevy Court, which was mentioned, is an open-air concert theater. In 2009, as we said, it opens to 2 different national performing artists every day instead of having the same artist twice. In order to attract additional people to the fair, they try to have different acts appealing to different audiences. 150,000 people attended. Oh, this is, I think, I think I was there one day. We'll have to look. Maybe we could look this up. 2009, 170,000 in 2010, 200,000 in 2011. They've hosted Bruno Mars and REO Speedwagon. Has Bruno Mars and REO Speedwagon been in this sentence together? Probably. It's, a lot of people think it's a great place to go for a free concert, which it kind of is, if you can get a seat or if you're going to stand on the edges like I do. And you also, if you want to see Wayne Mahar, all the news stations are set up with the remote studios on Chevy Court. Okay, let's talk about the Midway, which there's a lot of good fun houses. If you're taking a kid, and you get the unlimited wristband, which I think is $20. Either company. Now it's run by Wade Shows since 2014. But I think I brought my daughter before 2014. But, at a certain age, kids, like a fun house is really good, especially if you have unlimited. You could just keep going in and out. And I think it's $25, which you can definitely get your money's worth if it's during the day. I don't know how busy it is at night. I've been there at night, but during the day, the only thing is it's just really warm. So here's a tip I learned from Ray about Disney. Same thing. Like if you're going to go to the fair with kids that want to ride rides, just go one day to ride the rides and don't do any of the exhibits or stuff because it's so warm. The adults will get tired out and not have any fun, and then the kids won't be tired until you get into the car, and then you know what happens. So just a free tip. Usually you get free tickets to the fair, like if you buy stuff at the grocery store or a bunch of soda. Agriculture, though, is a large component of the New York State Fair and New York State as well. And so they host a variety of displays, events, and competitions that teach fairgoers the importance of agriculture. In 2011, there's over 14,000 animals exhibited, including horses, dairy cattle, rabbits, and dairy goats. In addition to the entries, in 2014, they also had 10,000 agricultural entries. Oh, addition to animals, there was 10,000 agricultural entries like tractors, beverages, trees, flowers, forage, grain, and 4-H. In 2018, they opened the Pride of the New York Marketplace, which is pretty cool. It has gourmet sauces, syrups, and pastas. Probably apples. In 2013, they brought a new attraction to allow fairgoers to sample different products from vendors in all regions of the state. A Taste of New York, a tent, and they even have a place where it's like more, I don't know, there's a lot of good ways to sample stuff. There's also buildings and exhibits. So there's the Carousel Progress Building, which is the largest of 110 buildings on the fairgrounds. Just inside the main gate along the perimeter of Chevy Court, has over 250 vendors and concessionaires, and has recently become the home of the 180-ton sand sculpture. Also where you can get, I think that's where you get free baked potatoes or baked potatoes for $1. And I don't know if the Center of Progress is where all the infomercial stuff is, but that's fun. Like hundreds of vendors are selling things that you could get on infomercials, like chamois and like car polishes and pans, things to make your life easier. Sand sculpture is in the Center of Progress building. Works on by a team of sculptures throughout the 12 days of the fair. And they do a lot of cool different things. The Coliseum was built in 1923 and had the World Dairy Contest. Dairy cattle from 40 different countries. In 1947-48, Syracuse University basketball played their games there. In 1949 to 1952, the NBA team, the Syracuse Nats Nationals, played there. In the 1949 game, set all-time records for the most points, most fouls, most free throws, most missed free throws, most overtimes, and longest game. And most of those records still hold. During the fair now, the Coliseum is mainly used for horse shows. I think my mom likes to go to that. Also, Holstein Dairy Cattle Show, 4-H Agility Dog Show. Wow. And variety shows on Labor Day. The Syracuse Stars hockey team played their games there. I think I went to one of my friends' games at maybe a hockey game there for one of my friends in high school. And then we ate pizza. Probably during Christmas break. Horticulture building is a large, graceful structure, intricately designed entrance. And the front is a fountain, a state park reflecting pool. It has many horticultural exhibits and concessionaires. Oh, this is where the famous $1 baked potato booth is, because it's a piece of horticulture, I guess. New York Maple Center. Apple exhibits, so check that out. Dairy products building, I think that's where you can get the milk. Yeah, this is where the milk bar is, 25 cents. You can get a baked potato for $1, and then you probably want about 10 cups of milk. There's 10 vendors in there, 10 vendors in this family-oriented building. Major attractions include a butter sculpture, and then chocolate or plain milk sold at the milk bar for 25 cents. In 2012, 403,189 cups of milk were sold. That was an all-time record. And there's also a lot of dessert you can get there. The butter sculpture comprises 800 pounds or 300 kilograms of unsalted butter. It's been a feature since 1969. Once the fair is over, it's converted to biofuel for college buses at Syracuse University at their School of Environmental Science. Oh, but that's a state SUNY school, SUNY School for Environmental Science and Forestry. And it's sponsored by the American Dairy Association and the Dairy Council. Finally, those two get along. There's also the Dairy Cattle Barn during the first 12 days of the fair. That barn is used by dairy cattle exhibitors during the off season. It can be a bit, for other stuff. The Science and Industry Building is the Anchor Chevy Court. That might be where I don't know, I get all these buildings mixed up. Maybe this is Art and Home Center has a demonstration kitchen. Some celebrities like Adam Richman, Bobby Flay, and others show up there. It hosts the Art and Home Center hosts its annual Women's Day luncheon. In 2009, the building celebrated its 75th anniversary by celebrating the line of the life of Harriet Mae Mills, a famous suffragette, who the building is dedicated to. Yeah, it also hosts operating. Oh, this is one my brother likes to go because it has model trains. Yeah, but it's always packed. His son really likes to go there. You got to go there earlier in the day. Also has the Empire State Theater and Musical Instrument Museum. See, I'd like to go to, I wish Harper's would pay me to do boring stuff and call ahead. Because then I could do, it features extensive collection of pianos, organs, phonographs, etc. It also has an Empire Theater, which has local theatrical productions, and it used to have that thing. No, it is home to the 1925 Wurlitzer 3 manual and 11 rank theater pipe organ, Opus 1143. It has an international building, which has a lot of different food, and a youth building built to edutain youth, and let's see, a variety of interactive state park day. They have a little mini state park there. You'll see attendance records in this is just by day of the week. The busiest day of the week is probably Memorial Day. It looks like 125,000. And then the first Saturday and Sunday of the fair get pretty busy. It's strange. In the middle of the week, then the Tuesday and Wednesday of the second week, I guess that whole week's real busy because it's like the week. I don't know when New York State starts their schools, but yeah, so they like to use a lot about the Chevy Court. So I just want to run through this year's, and then I'll try to look at the last two times I went. This year they have Blondie, Dave Mason and Steve Cropper, Counting Crows, Hunter Hayes, Herman's Hermits, Smokey Robinson, Dickie Betts, Little Yachty, Big and Rich, Boogie with the Hoodie, Maren Morris, and Niall Horan. I know that's somebody famous, but and then the rest of them are to be announced still. So I didn't go in 2016 or 17, but let's see. Here's 2015. I was definitely there in 2015. Let's see who I might have been there during Everclear and Rick Springfield. Maybe I was there that day. Eric Church was there. Melissa Astridge was there Friday, August 28th. Jim Gaffigan was there Friday, 28th. Oh, no, he was on the grandstand. Dan and Shay, I don't know them. Hank, oh, no, that's a grandstand. Bowser's Rock and Roll Party was there. Oak Ridge Boys. Oh, Salt and Pepper. So there's where I was. And Snoop Dogg was that night. So I was definitely there that day. Wednesday, September 2nd, I was at the New York State Fair, believe it or not, soaking up Salt and Pepper. Jason Derulo was the next night. Who else? Fifth Harmony was there. Steve Miller Band was, I think that set the record. Nick Jonas. So that was 2015. So that was just Salt and Pepper. I didn't see Snoop Dogg because we were probably too tired. Okay, here's 2014. Maybe I wasn't there 2014. Jason Aldean. No, none of these are, this is wrong. It said it was going to come up with it, but it did not. It came up with some, it says it came up with all the, oh, let's see, Chevy chord only. Let's see if I can just search for 70 chord. I'm looking on some database, and I'm going to be honest with you. It says there was no concerts in 2014. Let's try 2013. Well, maybe it was close in 2013. Let's see, 2014. Let's see, who was there? Dickie Betts, I didn't see that. OAR, Owl City, Lee Greenwood, Plain White Tees, Vince Gill, Fifth Dimension, Chubby Checker, Cap Calloway, Florida Georgia Line, Babyface, Styx, George Clinton and Parliament Funkadelic, holy cow. Grace Potter. Also Salt and Pepper. So maybe I saw Salt and Pepper another year. That was 822. Okay, here's 2014. I found it. It's pretty good. Kelly Pickler and Bare Naked Ladies. One day, Smash Mouth and Jason Derulo. Sean Kingston and the Bacon Brothers. Ashanti and Young the Giant, Herman Hermits, they seem like, and then John Kay and Steppenwolf, Bowser's Rock and Roll Party, it's Bowser from Sha-Na-Na, my parents liked Sha-Na-Na, Night Ranger, Joan Jett, I think I was there that day, because my brother wanted to see Joan Jett, maybe, usually we're not there at night, though. Doobie Brothers played on Memorial Day. Uncle Cracker, Belle Biv DeVoe, Now You Know, The Neighborhood, Southside Johnny and the Asbury Jukes, Eli Young Band. So that's 2014. So get comfortable, picture some, a warm evening, listening to music, smelling the funnel cake on the air, and relaxing. And I'll come back another time and kind of take you on in my own personal journey. Yeah, through the New York State Fair. Good night, everybody. Hey, everybody, this is Scoots, just running through people who support the show, not just for themselves, but for you, anybody that chooses not to support the show or just isn't in a place where they can support the show. But if you're wondering when you support, if you've been putting it off or you're on the fence or you're meaning to do it, remember, like these listeners I'm reading through, when you support the show for yourself, you get a lot, something designed, particularly if you listen all night long, you fall asleep fast, you listen multiple nights a week, you have favorite episodes. You're going to get the best listening experience on Sleep and Me Plus because all the podcasts on Sleep and Me Plus are designed with people like you in mind and how you like to listen to the show. And that's what we built Sleep and Me Plus for super listeners, for people that have an opinion about the show and have a certain listening style. But then you also get peace of mind. If you do count on the podcast, you don't think you could replace it with something else. You know it's going to be there. And on top of all that, you're a part of something way bigger than me, way bigger than you, that has a positive impact. The reality is thousands of people's lives for each supporter. And so I'm going to read through these ones. The first one is from Rosie, who was one of the rare listeners who loved the show from the first time they listened, became a supporter after that first listen. Why? It entertained me, distracted me, and helped me relax enough to fall asleep. Still supporting the show. I never felt any obstacle to supporting the show. I started supporting it. I support other sleep podcasts, and I always return to Sleep With Me. And it feels great. I want the show to never end, so I'm happy to support it. Good sleep is priceless. I love the humor and wisdom, compassion, normalizing of brain bots. And my favorite is all intros, that Boar Besties and Boar Friends get a feed full of all intros that come out twice a month in addition to the all intros we regularly put out. And I feel like you do a great job at communicating, connecting people with the support team for tech help. And I have a memory of an intro involving walking on peaches, but I never heard it again. Well, thanks, Rosie, for supporting the show. Next up is Sherry, who started listening to the show after reading an article in a magazine in 2015.
And I started listening to the free show, but my use was sporadic, which is kind of a normal way to listen. And I had a big uneaten, not easy life event. And I knew I would need much more support in all caps and would listen all night long as I went through this. Scoots was the best boyfriend I could ask for. I knew I needed to support something that was supporting me so much. And my biggest obstacle was cost when I didn't support the show. Even then, absolutely everything I wanted to support the show. But at the time, cost stopped me. But I feel great now being able to make a difference, not just in my own life, but in the lives of others, including everyone who works to bring the show to people listening, and that made me feel great. My favorite thing about this podcast is how easily it sends me off to sleep and helps me, keeps me asleep. Allows my brain a break from all this overwhelming stuff I'm dealing with, so I can go through that process and get a good night's sleep and resume processing things during the day. And I do have everything set up. My favorite is the regular ad-free episodes. I also enjoyed the readings of Frankie and Victor. Victoria, I was thinking of Victoria. She's on the ride in Universal. Sorry, tangent there. And I think you're doing a great job of communicating. The first time I listened to the podcast, I fell asleep. I adore Scoots and everything related to the show. Thanks. And last, we're going to run through Ruth. Hey, I'm Ruth. I'm an Italian woman, and having a kind and funny boyfriend in the deep, dark nights when it happens I'm awake is invaluable. I'm over 50. I've always suffered from insomnia since I was a child. No one was ever there with me until Scoots arrived. He makes the night less deep and dark, less lonely. He makes me smile. He's adorably goofy, and that's what I like the most, and makes him different and standing out. The tone, continuous talking. This is great for falling asleep. Besides this, humble and kind, nice, a real loving attitude towards human beings. I feel like he deserves my gratitude and my support. I understand Scoots involves a lot of time and energy into planning and effort to produce this wonderful podcast, and I want to give something in return for this. I will always be grateful to our common boar bestie for his support to us during our sleepless nights. Thank you, dear Scoots, and I want you to be able to be here for a long time, ready to come and rescue me on those hard but no more lonely nights. And I'm still currently supporting the show, even though I don't listen to it as much nowadays. I don't want it to stop. It reassures me to know that Scoots is there in case of need. And I feel like I'm recognizing the value Scoots provides by supporting the show. My favorite thing is that Scooter makes me smile, and his voice is smooth and grateful in a super calming tone. And it sounds like Ruth doesn't even listen to the Sleep With Me Plus content, but if you do, you could set it up. So thanks to everybody that supports the show, Sherry, Ruth, and Rosie in this case. If you relate to any of that, there are other ways to support the show. You could spread the word about the podcast and be surprised by Scoots. You could spread the word about something else that's important in your life other than Sleep With Me. You could support the show directly, because when you do, if you're a super listener, you get the best possible listening experience, but you also you're a part of something bigger. I think I already said it. But those are huge way. Letting people know about the show is a huge way. And yeah, if you want to be surprised by Scoots, tag me or send me an email. Maybe you'll get a free, if you can't afford to support the show, reach out, spread the word. And if for some reason you just can't support the show, like financially, or you just can't do it. You can't spread the word about it. I know there are people out there. You just say, I can't do either one of those. Or I think there's more people that say, I'm not going to do either one of those. We do have a scholarship program, too. So you could email me through the contact form on our website, share with me, and I can and we have listeners willing to support the show. But the reality is, if you're listening to this and you support the show for yourself, you're already supporting it for other people. So, when you sign up, let me know, and I'll make sure that when I hear from the people that aren't in a place, whatever the place is, where they can support the show financially or I just can't, or I just don't, I'm not comfortable supporting this show by spreading the word either. I'll make sure your support goes to one of those people. So you're supporting it for you and a lot of other people too. Thanks and good night. Oh, by the way, you could always, the best way to support the show's on Sleep With Me Plus. That's at sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. I can't believe I forgot that. Thanks.